narcissist is a spectacularly selfish individual, super selfish, world-class selfish. Everything he thinks, feels, and does focuses on one goal: to protect and please himself. That's the core feature of narcissism, unbelievable selfishness. It's always and forever about him. Here are some other features, briefly, of narcissism. A narcissist won't meet your needs. He doesn't even know what your needs are. They're not on his radar screen. It's always about his needs, and it's your job, your life's work, every minute of your life to meet his needs. He's never wrong, never, which means you're always wrong and you're to blame. He's only nice to you to look good, to you and to others, maybe the kids, and to get what he wants. It's never true concern for you. He has no empathy for you, zero compassion. You can be angry, you can be hurt, you can be upset. He could care less. That's your problem that you created. Has nothing to do with him. No emotional connection possible, and probably never going to be. And of course, he is incredibly critical of you in subtle ways, outrageous ways, in front of other people, in front of the kids, privately, whatever. He'll criticize your weight, your looks, your housekeeping, your mothering. You can't go to the grocery store and do it the right way. You're never good enough. So that gives you a taste of what narcissism is like. Get the book, Enough is Enough, and you'll see clearly what you have on your hands. And if you have a narcissist, which could be a husband or a wife, it'll tell you what to do about it.
Hello, my lovelies. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. While you're here, go ahead and hit the like button before you get. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe because as always, it's a vibe and you're going to love it here. So I wanted to do something a little different and talk about narcissists today. As y'all already heard from Dr. Clark, a lot of them are very, very selfish. And I know, me personally, I know that I have dealt with probably at least two of them. I did not know that there were different levels of narcissists. So I'm going to get into that later on in my commentary towards the end, but you guys are going to hear some story times with women dealing with narcissists who have dealt with narcissists, and then you're also going to hear from a individual who was diagnosed as a narcissist and hear some words from him as well. So I thought this was going to be very entertaining, but yet educational. So I will see y'all back towards the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
So this was in 2018, this picture, and this was after my ex and I had realized that he had been abusive. I had been abused for the past 2.5 years, and he was getting better. He was writing me love notes on the refrigerator every morning before he went to work. I was really hopeful, and I was thinking things are getting better. During this trip, this was a vacation, I felt so connected to him and so close to him, and I felt genuinely happy. Like in that picture, I don't know if you can see, it was the first time I had felt happy in such a long time. And then we get home from this trip, and I tell him, I feel so close to you. I haven't felt as close to you since before we got married. I love you so much. I start pulling in closer to him, and that was my mistake, y'all. That was my mistake. Also on this trip, this little vacation here, we had some explosive SEGGS. And I was feeling like that was like a sign of intimacy because, as I've mentioned before in this channel, that was a big part of how he humiliated me, was completely rejecting, pulling back, never wanting it, never touching me, never being affectionate. But he was trying here. And on this trip, boy, he put it down. So I was like, okay, we're back on the same page. So we get back, and I'm just trying to communicate to him how much I love him. I'm so excited to have him back. I felt like he was back. And within 2 months of this, of just feeling okay, like actually feeling good and being in like kind of a honeymoon stage of the abuse cycle, there was one night that we're talking, and one of our biggest issues with it, he really, really, really struggled with internalized racism. Very much was practicing misogynoir, which is the hatred of black women. And we were watching a TV show that got brought up, and he said something about black women. And I was like, that is such an internalized racist thing to say to your black wife. It hurts me. I was just trying to let him know, like, this is hurtful to me as a black woman. And I was like, do you think that you struggle with internalized racism? And he got up and started clapping and circled around me and was like, screaming, what are you talking about? At this time, our little baby, I don't remember how old she was at this time, maybe less than 2, was sitting on the floor. Me and her were sitting on the floor playing blocks. I was so scared that he was going to grab me by my ponytail because my hair is in a ponytail. And I was just like, can you please stop? can you please stop? You're scaring me. I just thought if I told him that, like, knowing everything we've been through, he would stop. And he puts his knee up real high over me, like his crotch in my face, and he's like, don't you ever, he's just going crazy about don't ever say this to him, don't ever do this to him, don't ever say this to him. That was the beginning of the end for me. That was when I knew.
Auntie Jam just got triggered. Let me tell y'all what just happened. So y'all know 2 months ago I posted a video about my ex that I moved down here for. That's the last relationship I've been in. I moved down to Dallas for him. It didn't work. He was a cheater, a narcissist. Took me through a whole lot. When I say up, down, and through it, I experienced a lot of depression in the relationship. Once the relationship was over, I had relationship PTSD. I had to go to therapy. On top of the fact that I experienced 2 miscarriages while with that man. A week before we broke up, I lost a baby. The night that I left his home, and we broke up, he didn't even check on me to make sure I made it home. And that last miscarriage was very hard on my body. And if you have been following me for the last 2 years, then y'all know that I have infertility issues. I've experienced 5 miscarriages total, so which is why I don't have kids now. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But it has something to do with why I'm triggered. Now, when we broke up in 2019, the beginning of the year, it took us a year for us to talk again, to actually try to be friends. We were friends on and off. Things were happening in our lives. We were kind of there for each other, but we could never stay connected because I could not let go of the things that he had put me through. Although I'm a very forgiving person, I just couldn't let it go, and I don't feel like that I'm wrong for that. But anyway, once again, that's neither here nor there. So let's fast forward to May 31st, 2022, the day that I lost my grandmother. He came back into my life for a split second. He was here for me that day, like he was comforting, all the things. Well, that lasted about 24 hours. He was in and out like the wind. And since then, I hadn't really thought of him. Actually, a week after that, I decided, since I'm on this healing journey, I had just lost my mom, just lost my grandmother, I need to make sure I start over and block out everything that I know means me no good. And I knew for a fact he was one of those things, because although we were kind of connected at that moment, I knew something was going to happen where he was going to mess up and I wasn't going to want to deal with him again, because a narcissist never changes. Now let's fast forward to today, September 6, 2023. I'm over here minding my own black business in my own black ass world, not bothering nobody. Mind you, he was blocked from my phone. I get a text message from a number that I do not know. The minute that I open the message, there are 2 photos of him and a girl at a baby shower celebrating the welcoming of their child. Now, out of the 8 to 9 billion people in this world, this man decided to send those photos to me. True narcissistic behavior. If you know anything about a narcissist, then you know if they feel like that door is open a little bit, or if they can get into your life just a little bit, they're going to take advantage. They always want a piece of you, even when they cannot have you, whether it's directly or indirectly. For the life of me, I cannot understand why you chose me. Out of all the people in the world, you chose the woman that you damn near destroyed. You chose me to send those pictures to, and I don't get it. And I'm just triggered. And I don't know if I'm triggered because he's having a baby, or I'm triggered because after all this time, you just will not let me be. Like let me be. I don't think about you. You literally never cross my mind unless it's a horrible thought and I have to snap out of it. I don't look for your number. I don't go to your social medias. For me, you're unalive. Okay? You don't exist to me anymore. So why is it after all this time you still want to have some sort of attachment to me? I want to be left alone. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he has a healthy baby. The young lady has no idea what she is getting herself into, and if she does, congratulations to her, because she's in for it. This goes to show, you could have it all. You could have the man that makes the money, you could have the baby on the way, and you could have the ring. And so many times you still don't know who you're laying next to, because I guarantee you she has no idea that he sent those pictures to me. Why am I even crossing your mind?
Hey guys, I'm on my lunch break at work, but I wanted to talk about manipulation. So I obviously had traumatic trust issues from my narcissist, and I didn't believe a word this man said. It would be to the point where he lied so much and manipulated me so much that if he said the sky was blue, I would have to look out the window and check. And he would always make me feel crazy for not trusting him, and then literally very, very quickly would show me exactly why I didn't trust him and prove it that I couldn't trust him. It was a never-ending cycle, but one of the million times that we got back together, I told him, I don't want to do this anymore, so you need to reshare your location. Something that we've done our whole relationship, but all of a sudden stopped doing when he just decided to go and keep cheating. Immediately when I brought it up, he got super defensive and was like, no, we don't need to do that. I want to earn your trust back. You need to trust me. I'm going to earn your trust back organically. We don't need to share locations because I'm going to tell you the truth. We argued for an hour and a half about it. He broke me down so bad in the argument and manipulated me so much that I actually believed that this man wanted to really do the right thing. So I said, fine, whatever, because I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere anyway, and I was just done arguing about it, and he was just making it such a big deal. Couple days later, so let's just say that was a Monday, it's Wednesday now. Now, mind you, he told me if I want to know where he is, he will answer the phone at all times and FaceTime me and prove to me where he is. He's going to be telling me the truth. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So this Wednesday, 2 days later after he argued with me about sharing his location and that he's going to tell me the truth, he tells me he's going to go to his mom's house to play video games with his little brother, something that he usually does. I had no reason not to believe him because whatever. The moment he left the house, I had a bad gut feeling. I already knew he was up to something. He was acting weird. Men usually tell on themselves. Hours go by, I have an attitude. I already knew he did something because he got home super late. When he got home, I checked that phone. No recent calls, no recent text. It's like he never touched his phone for hours. That doesn't make sense. This man is always on his phone. But he convinced me that I was crazy for checking his phone and not believing him. And you see, I'm telling the truth. You see, I'm telling the truth. So then I go to close the apps and I see that maps are open. Mind you, his mom lives just up the road. He knows that by heart. He grew up in the area. It's nothing unfamiliar. Nothing you would need a map for. When I looked at the map, you know the route he came from? He wasn't at his mom's house. He was in New York City at the person's house or in the person's area that he's been cheating on me with. When I presented him with the proof, he tried to lie, but obviously you can't lie about where the route you just took, the GPS guidance that you just took from Tribeca, New York to Jersey City, New Jersey. After a 7-hour argument, me crying, breaking down, hyperventilating, anxiety, he starts to get nasty because he knows he's losing. He starts bringing up stuff from the past that's irrelevant, that has nothing to do with anything. He tried to gaslight me, whatever, and then finally wants to apologize. And tells me that he will tell me the truth tomorrow, but he doesn't feel like telling me the truth tonight. After arguing that he doesn't need to share his location and that I can trust him. Manipulation 101.
So sometimes narcissists and toxic people will break up with you on purpose to test to see how much you care about them. And of course, if you're new here, I'm actually a diagnosed narcissist. So yes, some narcissistic people, toxic ass people, will absolutely manufacture breakups or cause huge arguments just to have you chase after them, to see if you will chase after them, to see how much you care about them. And guess what happens, y'all? If you don't chase after them, they will claim that you never cared about them, that you're messing with somebody else, and that you was never down for them from the beginning. It's a weird mind game that a lot of narcissistic people like to play to see if you care, or because there's always an or, right, to see how much they can get away with, y'all, because some of them will actually manufacture breakups or huge arguments to go out there and cheat on you, or to do something behind your back and just say, hey, look, we weren't together. And the more you chase after them, the more you beg them to come back if they break up with you and block you on everything, the more that you pop up at their house and stuff like that, the more that they will continue to do it, because now they feel empowered to do it over and over again.
So I don't know about y'all, but a lot of that hit home for me, like starting with Dr. Clark. When y'all know who already been subscribed to my channel, I've talked about it often, and I also have my divorce story in my videos. Y'all know the issues that I dealt with my ex-husband, and he never went to get diagnosed because he just felt like nothing's wrong with him, of course. But I do feel like he has narcissist personality disorder. And the reason I say that is because you see the whole Dr. Clark, who is a psychologist, so he's obviously properly and formally educated on this. He speaks about how they are so selfish and how they don't know how to meet your needs because they're only concerned about their own needs. And when I tell y'all, that is the epitome of what I dealt with in that relationship. I never really got my needs met. Like anytime we went on vacation or anything like that, it was always me planning it. He never cared to take the time to plan anything nice for me or nice for the family or anything like that. So anytime me and the kids, we all went somewhere like vacation or something like that, it was because of me. He never took the time to want to plan anything for my birthday. You know, it was, again, always me. When it would come to events, he would always show up late. You know, like even our own kid's birthday, he would show up late. And I'm like, I'm the one who's doing everything, like setting up everything, making sure everybody's good. And then he'll show up like he's a guest, you know, like all attention on him type stuff. But when it came to his birthday and stuff like that, I always took my time to like make sure he had a nice birthday, make sure we did stuff nice for him. You know, one year his credit wasn't good, so, and he really wanted a new car. I put my name on a car for him for his birthday. Like I took way more time and effort into putting things together for him versus me. I never got it in return. It was definitely an unbalanced relationship. And even more so, it now makes sense because when we have separated, you know, / divorced, he acted the same way when it came to the kids. So anytime, like, as y'all have known, because I've already spoke about this, you know, after we separate, he realized that we were not getting back together, he decided he was not interested in being a father anymore. He said it's all or nothing with him. So that commentary where I've heard, I don't know if it was on this video or not, but I heard that narcissists don't care about anybody but themselves, not even their children. That definitely hits home because that is absolutely my ex-husband. I'm like, you're not thinking about what this is doing to our kids. I kept explaining to him multiple times what was going on with our oldest daughter, how him not answering the phone or seeing her, anything like that, what it was doing to her. And he just did not care. He kept saying, you chose this. You wanted to be a single mom. Like that was his stance on him not being a father to his children. So it definitely hit home for me, you know. And, you know, like that woman who was talking about she dealt with her man who she believed had internal racism. Towards the end of our marriage, me and my ex-husband, it definitely seems like he was dealing with the same things. And he would like say things like, oh yeah, because black women want to do this and y'all want to do that, blah, blah, blah. And I honestly feel like with him personally, that goes back to his mother. He had a lot of issues with his mother. And I feel like because they never got the help that they should have from their mother, who should have put them in therapy a long time ago. When I say them, I'm talking about him, his brothers, because it's a lot of mental issues there. Because of that has just grew over the years. And that is really irritating. And us as parents, we have to do better. Like, you know that Summer Walker song where she was like, I want to start with your mama? Heavy on that. Because I'll be danged if I don't put my son in therapy. My son, matter of fact, he probably gonna go in therapy even if he don't want to go in therapy, just in case there might be any type of internal issues. But because the father is absent in the home, I always recommend that people get them in some type of, you know, therapy or some type of maybe mentorship programs. Because boys really, at the end of the day, they really need mentors. They need positive mentors, and girls need therapy. I've heard that from like this Boys and Girls Scout coach who's worked in the industry for many years, and it just makes sense. This is why boys do things like join gangs and all this other kind of stuff, because they're looking for someone who can relate to them to where they think they belong. And if they don't see no males in the house, they're going to go where they see males at, you know. And sometimes that can be in positive groups, sometimes it can be in negative groups. So, you know, it's unfortunate. And in the girl who was talking about the second story, where the woman was talking about how her dude, like her ex-dude, was sent her a picture of him and his new woman having a baby, knowing that she had fertility issues in that relationship, sounds, yeah, just like a narcissist. This dude who I was dating before, who I know definitely fits the criteria of a narcissist, y'all, I kid you not. But I remember him telling, sending me a text message, like after me and him said, you know what, you know, I'm cool off you, blah, blah, and we're arguing all this. He sends me a text message of a screenshot of a girl texting him, basically pulling up to his house. And then he politely also includes in there a message earlier that was like, I think it was like a day or two earlier. It was like, hey, babe, what you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Letting me know that he's been talking to this girl this whole time. But yet he would always accuse me of cheating when I never cheated on him. So that sounds all too familiar. And you know, another thing I found out also, they said that a lot of narcissists are bisexual because they don't care where they're getting fed. They're with their narcissism. They don't care where it's getting fed. Like, and I was like, wow, you know what? Because that relationship, I'm not going to lie, I do question his sexuality sometimes. And I've never had to question somebody's, but I do question his sometimes. I just thought about something else as well. So the last dude that came on the screen, the one who's actually diagnosed with the narcissist personality disorder, he is so correct in the fact of them trying to just break up with you just to get a reaction out of you to see how much you care about them. That also reminds me of the same guy who sent me the screenshot of him dealing with somebody else. There was countless times, and it was very weird how he would just end things like, I'm done, whatever. Like, he done, right? And I'd be like, okay. And he did not like my reaction afterwards. Oh, you don't even care about me. You never care, blah, blah, blah. But you're the one ending the relationship. And I wasn't used to, you know, men that I've dealt with acting like that, but he would act like that. He would just end things just to get my reaction and then get mad that he don't get the reaction that I would expect. That I think that he wanted from me. Then I want to say like 3 months later, 2 or 3 months later of us being done, me even seeing somebody else, etc., he sends a journal that I left at his house to my house, and on the cover of it, he put lyrics of Future song. I'm like, okay, you're mad because nobody's thinking about you. So that also reminded me of that second story when she said that he sent her a picture of his baby shower and stuff. Like, narcissists be killing me because they want every single person that they have dealt with to still be pressed over them. And it's like, instead of you doing the healthy thing of wishing them nothing but the best and move forward, you still want them to be tripping over you. Like, there's no reason in the world when it's been months later, you should be sending stuff to my house and putting Future lyrics on the cover. Like, this is beyond me. But anyways, that's what I've dealt with, and this is what I think about this topic. I know you guys have probably dealt with similar stories and narcissists as well. So definitely let us know in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all in the next one.